Welcome back, everybody. Derek Sue, your East Oakland advocate. On my last vlog, I spoke about the use of a fire extinguisher for breaking up a dog fight. So anyway, here's what I'm talking about. This is a smaller version. This is only a 3 pound fire extinguisher, not a 5, 8, 10, or 20 pound. This is actually very compact and it's pretty small. Give you an idea how small it is. This is a 1 liter drink, and holding up next to each other, you can see that it's a similar size. The weight is a little bit heavier on this fire extinguisher because of the steel canister. And the reason why this is steel is because, number one, the high pressure, the high internal pressure on this. This is pumped to 300 psi. That is a tremendous amount of pressure exerting outwards on the cylinder. And so this is a disposable, so this is not refillable. Once it's used, you simply throw it away. You can buy these at most hardware stores, home improvement stores, and even online. And this should cost you between $20 and $25. I've been seeing them, right in that range everywhere. And this is a 3 pound of dry chemical, and it's a, a non-flammable chemical. It's called dry chemical fire extinguisher. It's pumped up. It's pressurized with nitrogen gas and 300 psi, and this fine particulates and dust. It's essentially ammonium, and so uh, it puts out fires. It has a sticky feel to it, so it adheres. This is an ABC type fire extinguisher, so you can use it on any kind of fire. Uh, uh, and the main types of fire is uh, woods and combustibles. Two, that is flammable liquids, and number three, type C, is electrical. And so this one is for all three. You can also get this in a marine version, and the difference with the marine version is that it's built for a wet environment. This one is not for a wet environment. This one needs to be kept indoors and in a dry place. The marine version is white color, so instead of red it'll be white, and so that's how fire marshals and fire captains can tell the difference very easily just by simply looking at the container, if it's red, white, or the steel container. And so that tells the fire department and also people what type of fire extinguisher this is. This is an ABC. This is for typical household use, but also, like I said, these can be used as a weapon, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. And I'm going to also try and pull up my old video that I did a number of years ago talking about being street safe, and I did a street safe series while being homeless, and I spoke about how to use one of these as a weapon. And then in that video, it'll show you the use and actual firing of actually 8 pound fire extinguisher that I used in that demonstration, and how effective it is. And then uh, on top of that, then once you use everything on this, if you're being attacked, or a dog is attacking you and you run out of the dry chem, and for some reason that dog is still attacking, take take this, put your hands right here. Now this becomes a flailing tool or a jabbing tool. You can easily hold it with one hand. If you jab with it, jab with as like you're trying to hit somebody with some real purpose. And when you hit them, it'll make a sound, And believe me, it's a sound that, number one, if you're not used to it, it is kind of a sickening sound because uh, it goes thud, and then the person typically goes down, goes flying, or gets severely is severely bleeding. I've used a fire extinguisher as a weapon since my teens, and because back in my teen days when I was getting roughed up, if I didn't use martial arts on them, and I didn't want to use martial arts on them, this was one of the tools that I used to change their mind. And believe me, the pressure on this, you look down the barrel there, and the nuisance dust that comes out of here is coming out at 300 psi of pressure. And so that's enough to actually blind a person, take their eyes out. But also, what it does, it neutralizes their ability to breathe. And so it clogs up their nasal passages, it gets into their mouth, it blinds them. The residual dust has a sticky texture to it, so it sticks to your face, and it's gummy. So it's a real good deterrent. And while one of the instances where I used this, that it was on a youngster who was threatening me, and he was threatening to harm me, and so I simply changed his mind without laying a hand on him. Literally, I didn't put a hand on him. I got one of these, one of my 8 pounders out of my shelter, came back out and literally went to town on him. And I couldn't believe at how close I was able to get to this youngster, and before he said stop. Otherwise, he was going to do something, and I just let him have it. And that was from only 3 feet away. 3 feet away, I got him in the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and I I severely disabled him from any kind of fight that he might have put up. He was in so much discomfort from this sandblasting his eyes, his face. Plus, he was a person of color, and I literally turned him frosty white. That's the dry chem here. And well, it's not white. It's more like a pistachio color, kind of a greenish yellow. And so that's the color that I turned him into from hair to his chest. Literally, he was that um, pistachio color, yellow color, all through there. And he was struggling, to try and get away from me from that at that time, because not only did that blast in his face, but the pressure from here, when it hit his head, it threw him back 6 feet. And so if you have a dog fight, like yesterday, I had to help neighbors separate two big dogs, one a German Shepherd and the other one a red-nosed pit bull, and they were going at it. The German Shepherd, for a little while, had an advantage because of size and strength. He was bigger than the pit bull, but again, the pit bull's jaw strength made the difference. And number one, he's biting the dog in places where that German Shepherd's trying to defend himself now, where he had a hold of the pit bull and had thrown the pit bull on the ground, actually. But the pit bull got the legs, and as soon as he clamped onto a leg, the German Shepherd let go, because German Shepherd's screaming in pain, because that pit bull's intending to shear that leg bone and break it, because that's what my Staffy did back in the day. Whenever she was attacked by a much larger dog and she was on the ground, she would literally go for the legs and snap the bone, and then that ended the attacks. But here on this, what you want to do, pull the pin really hard and point it at the center of where both those dogs are, and especially you want to point that at the offending dog, the dog that has the bite, and you want to get kind of close, but you don't want to get too close because this is going to be messy, because this is going to send up a big cloud of nuisance dust is what they call it, and so it's you want to stand back, and this will fire a good 10 feet, so you can stand back a little ways, but I would encourage folks to get within 5 feet of this, 6 feet at the very least, and then let the dogs have it, and the dogs will 100% break it up. Yesterday it was a very long and vicious fight, very bloody fight. It ended up being, and it lasted. It seemed like forever, and yet this fight was done and over in 3 minutes. But yet it seemed like an eternity when two dogs are going at each other. You're trying to pull them apart. Uh, uh, I had the pit bull by the legs and the tail. Another neighbor had his German Shepherd and by the legs, and we were pulling them apart. But then the pit bull had the German Shepherd by the throat and the neck, and so another neighbor came with an aluminum bat and literally knocked the pit bull silly. I should say he didn't knock him out, but he hit him enough where the pit bull finally let go of the German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd was able to be dragged off, literally, to safety. And while me and the other neighbor were trying to secure that dog with a rope and tie it up until animal control can get it. Well, yesterday the Oakland Animal Control finally came and removed that dog. And now what we're trying to do is have law enforcement remove this stolen RV, because it is uh, a hiding spot, and the person that stays there, he was just recently arrested. So, and he's one of the problem children of Oakland, because he's one of those that constantly steals your Kias, the Hyundais. He also steals Toyotas and Hondas. So this is a very proficient meth head and car thief. And not only is he a car thief, he strips these parts down, and that's how he uh, provides money for his drug habit. And yet, Oakland has not done anything. Here, us in the neighborhood have complained for nearly 2 years to Oakland. We've had Oakland come out and even talk to this individual, and yet Oakland does nothing. We had Oakland police, we had Oakland homeless services, and we've had mental health people try and talk with him, but he's content with doing his bad deeds here in Oakland. And so we need to once again. He had his another RV before this one that he had stolen, and he went to jail for 6 months. And we had everything removed. He didn't have a dog back then, and so we easily had Oakland remove that RV, that stolen RV. And he once he got out, he stole another one within days, and has been living in this one since. And so we're trying to convince Oakland, now that he's there, even though there's an appearance of somebody living there, he's not there. We know that he's in jail, and then we'll tell them, or trying to convince them, go look, look up the jail, because you'll find him there. And so tow his shit away, and we can get rid of at least this one problem. We have a whole bunch of them around the corner, because he's part of a whole group, a ring, that steals Hyundais, steals Kias, steals Hondas, and steals Toyotas. And so we need to get law enforcement involved with apprehending these people, so that we don't turn into another Wood Street, where Wood Street was just another black hole for stolen cars and car thieves, and people that stole cars and stripped them for their parts. They operated in the open, daytime, nighttime, and that's what's happening down here. And Oakland refuses to deal with this. And this is until they start getting hold of some of these car thieves. You know, Oakland's going to continue having a problem. But uh, the car thieves, they know not to threaten us anymore. They have tried in the past, and the neighborhood has retaliated on them. And when we retaliate, it's not pleasant. We use these and other things. And so, uh, police, OPD, Shang Tao, Mayor Shang Tao, you need to get your ass in gear, get these car thieves off the street, and make Oakland a safer place. This is ridiculous that we have to tolerate and put up with the crime and criminals here in Oakland ruining our beautiful city. Thanks for joining me today. Stay safe. Get yourself a fire extinguisher. These aren't that terribly heavy. Like I said, they're about 5 pounds, 6 pounds total. But again, about the same weight, slightly more than a 1 liter bottle. So if you have a waist band, a waist pack, a carry pack for a sports drink or sports drink bottles, you can carry one of these. And these are fairly inexpensive, between $20 to $25, and you can get them at pretty much any hardware store, home improvement center, even online. You can get these. If you want a larger one, you can get a larger one, but these work very well. Another alternative that you can use, a little bit lighter, but a little more costly, is bear spray. Bear spray is 2% capsaicin, and so it's a little bit higher than an OC spray, than some OC sprays. But the difference with the bear spray is that it sprays a fog rather than a stream. This is why I always tell folks, get yourself an OC spray, keep it in your pocket, on your belt, somewhere that you can quickly access it in the need. In a dog fight, separating out a dog fight, these can be very helpful, but it takes a few seconds for it to take effect on the perpetrator, whether it be a two-legged perpetrator or four-legged perpetrator. I've used these on dogs in the past that have attacked, and these are very effective. I've also issued these out to residents when I was managing Rangers community, and these are very effective, very effective. And I issued these to the victims, the women victims of domestic violence. And so a lot of the women of my former camp carry these regularly in their pockets and on their keychains, and these are very effective. Again, the fire extinguisher, the ladies who were victims of domestic violence, they would be able to keep one of these in bed underneath the blanket with them. And so as soon as the perpetrator would come into the room, they would just pull the ring and issue a warning. And sometimes I tell the ladies, don't issue a warning. As soon as they come in, just blast away. Just pull that ring, blast away. And then once you've got them staggering and choking, now what you want to do, change your hand position to this position. Go from here to here, just moving one finger to here. Now you have a good hard jabbing tool, and you jab hard. Grab hold of this really hard with your hands. Don't let go of it, because this is what's going to save you. Is the follow-up after you blast them with the fire extinguisher can make the difference between life and death for you and buying you plenty of time to get away. And so the places that you want to hit a person, if you hit this, you want to hit them under the jaw, square in the face, anywhere on the head, whether you're flailing it or jabbing it. You want to hit them in the head, and then once you've stunned them, Another good thing to do, hit them like a bat on the knees. That way it makes it very difficult for them to get up and chase you. So those are my tips for today. Using one of these, stay safe. It's cheap insurance, and especially for those of you who don't want to have a gun or a dangerous weapon in your home. So these are even safe for children. You can even teach children how to use this as a weapon. And so I'm going to attach my old video here below, and so you can see how effective it is, and you decide. But today you need to have weapons all around you, and chemical weapons are non-lethal and 100% safe. And every time that I've used this to break up a domestic violence issue, and police question me as to the use of this, my primary purpose was to go in and spray them. So make sure you say that. Your primary purpose was to spray them, not to hit them with this, because now that could be construed as pre-planning, or lying in wait, or not quite lying in wait, but causing great bodily harm, and you had planned to do so. And so those are a couple of tips for you. Keep you safe, keep you out of trouble, keep you from harm if you're attacked, whether it be from a two-legged person or a four-legged animal. A fire extinguisher works very well. The smaller ones, they're charged to 300 psi. The larger fire extinguishers are typically 195 to 200 psi of nitrogen gas pressure. So pressure is diminished on the bigger ones, but they last longer, whereas the small ones don't last very long. This one says that it should give you about 8 seconds. I seriously doubt you're going to get 8 seconds off of this. I'd be surprised if you hit 5 seconds complete, because that's how quickly these things empty out. And folks, these are simple tools, everyday tools that have a multitude of uses besides being a weapon. They can save your life in a fire. The smaller ones, these are great for a bedroom, keeping it next to your bed, keeping it next to the nightstand, underneath, in a drawer, under the bed. These are very handy, and they're cheap, and they come with a pull ring, and it's locked in. So you got to pull hard with some intention on this. And so if you do keep this in bed with you, I tell the ladies, be sure to just cut the plastic safety. The little plastic safety here, cut that off, and then that way the ring can come out very, very quickly, and without you having to struggle, especially if you are awakened from a dead sleep. That could be very difficult. Whereas if the safety, the little tag here, is already cut off, you can easily pull the ring out, point, and shoot. So thanks for joining me today. Stay safe. Get yourself a fire extinguisher. We'll be right back.